All right, we're going to get this started. We did the refresher course a month or two ago. I don't really remember how long it's been. Anybody that's been here for a while knows that anytime I do education, it's spur of the moment. I like to see things without planning ahead so we can learn together. Every trade that I take, what I want people to realize is simply that it's all trades based off of the last educational course that we did. Side note, I know that I probably look red, purple, green, whatever color I look, and they're static all around me. I cannot fix this OBS to save my life, but I'm doing my best. Back to what we're talking about. The last course that we taught is what I think is the best educational course that anyone that is day trading could ever see. You guys see me get 100%, 1,000% daily, and it's based off of these. And people ask, how do you know it's going to break out right here? Well, if you dive deep into the last educational course that I did, you will completely understand how I'm able to do that. It's not rocket science. I'm not a smart person. The stock market is my niche, and one thing that I dialed in on is understanding when breakouts happen. I trade 0 DTE, so understanding when the breakouts happen is very important. Today we saw several situations. I alerted several plays. They were all 100% plus plays. And it's just easy to me, but you guys also have to understand that I'm one person teaching. So when we did the last course, it's hard for me to dive into every detail because I see it naturally because I've been doing this for so long. So I don't understand where people are lacking unless they ask questions. So I'm making this video to fix everything. And I truly believe after this video that there's not going to be many people in the Discord that are having red days anymore. I've been trading. I started the 1,000 to 100K Challenger or whatever last month, and I've had one red day. There's a reason for that, and it's because I'm patient and I wait for the strategy that I've been teaching you guys. This is all so simple. One thing I did not cover in the last video, like I said, I'm one person. I don't think to do this, is the fact that there are two breakout styles. So when we're going into the 200 EMA, it can either break it on the first attempt or it can pull back. And I'm going to dive into this. But before we get any of this started, I want to start one of my good friends, Cody Pruitt. If you're an Ole Miss fan, you know exactly who that is. Famous name, one of the best people to ever play at Ole Miss. I consider him a brother. He posted something on his Snapchat earlier and said, I led a man to the top of a mountain and then realized I was at the top. And it really hit home because I've made several $1 million in the stock market, but I never really realized that. But I'm leading you guys up to the top with me. And then when we get there together, we realize, holy shit, we made it. And I want everybody to realize that, like, we're all here together. We're not, we all want out of that 9 to 5. We want out of everything. And the stock market was my way. And I'm hoping I can lead you guys to the top of that mountain, to get there with me. And we can all do it together. 4 hours is better than 2. If I miss a trade, somebody else alerts it. And then we can grow from there. That's how it is. We lead each other to the top of that mountain, and we get there together. But we're here now, and we'll dive into this. So, what I mean by there are two breakout styles. This was very confusing for people today. I alerted a trade because anytime there's a massive sell-off, there is a retracement. So we all see this massive sell-off here. We know there's going to be a retracement. It's common sense. A stock market doesn't just move in one direction. It fucking chops around, stops everybody out, and then it does its own thing. If you ever see something like this, you know there's going to be a retracement. I'm going to say fuck a lot, so excuse my language. But if you see something like this, there's going to be a fucking retracement. Common sense. It's not going to keep going in one direction. If you ever think that, then you're dumb and you shouldn't trade. This is going to be a very rude video, but this is common sense. I alerted before market open, 1 minute before market open, the 5-minute chart, 9 EMA. If that breaks, we're going to get a nice retracement. So the alert was enter on the 9 EMA break. Over here we see a 9 EMA break with high volume. We push up, we keep going. Yes, we retrace back down. Never confirm any of these levels, but regardless of that, this has nothing to do with the strategy. If I alert something, I intend to make money. I'm not alerting it if I don't intend to make money. The strategy is the 9 EMA, 50 EMA, 200 EMA, crossovers, VWAP, whatever. I think I need to put the 50 EMA on here real quick. All right, so we got that. This is a bad chart because I just added this, so it's not the normal colors. All right, so we see the 50 EMA is blue, the 200 EMA is red. We're on the 5-minute chart. 9 EMA broke, we ran up, pulled back down, no confirmation because the wicks never confirmed under there. Push back up to 50 EMA. Where do we pull back? 50 EMA. All right, so what we want to look at here is the fact that there are two styles of this strategy. It either breaks on the first attempt or it rejects on the first attempt. We do not trade first attempts. We can trade to the first attempts. So 9 EMA break, we trade to the 50 EMA right here. Okay, so we reject here. And if I zoom in a little further, you guys can see it. We reject here, first attempt. Pull back, micro pullback into the 9 EMA. The reason I say micro pullback is why? Because the volume is dying. Anytime we're going into a key level and the volume is spiking, what does that mean? It means there are more people coming into this trade to push it through that. So what we look at on the 50 EMA, 200 EMA breaks are volume. So we broke it here, but not necessarily if you're looking at the 5-minute chart. So rejection, pull back into the 9 EMA. The 50 EMA is up here. We break over it. So if we are in a trade from the 9 EMA break all the way up here, we would have held, had a stop loss, pull back into this. We're going to scale at that 50 EMA. It's going to reject there. And if it breaks, one guarantee is it's going to pull back to the 9. And I'm going to get into that momentarily. But the first style that we're looking at is rejection at the 50 EMA, VWAP, ATR, 200 EMA, whatever. It's either going to reject the first time or it's going to break it. One thing it's always going to do when that happens is pull back into the 9 EMA. You can see how it tapered into the 9 EMA here. What does that tell me? It tells me it's going to push forward again because there wasn't a volume spike on that rejection and it's not going to crash. So I entered over here on the 9 EMA break. We push up, we come back down, we scale whatever you could hold, taper back down, find a level of support, we push back into the 50 EMA. We reject at the 50 EMA. This is where we scale our position. Because one thing that is guaranteed is we're going to get a 9 EMA pullback. We don't know if it's going to break the 50 EMA. We don't know if it's going to reject the 50 EMA. But we're going to scale there just in case. If it breaks or if it rejects, one thing that is guaranteed is we're going to get a 9 EMA pullback. So we scale our position here. So we had 4 contracts. We're going to scale 2 right here. We're going to taper into the 9 EMA. We have runners now. Our position is safe. We push forward, and as we're going into the 200 EMA, which is right here, the red line, we're going to scale again. We come back down. So we have 1 contract left. We're going to stop out when the 90 EMA goes flat. So what happens here is, in the last education video that we did, we know that when the 90 EMA approaches any of these support indicators, support resistance indicators, the 50 EMA, the 200 EMA, VWAP, or ATR, it depends on the angle it's going into it. That determines what it's going to do. So you see it tapering in here. We've already scaled our position twice right here. I alerted this, and that was 100% play. We're coming back down. The indicator goes flat. We're going to close our position right there when the indicator goes flat because we know it's going to drop. We're probably going to drop to the next level of support resistance. If we're going up, it's resistance. If we're going down, support. So VWAP. But if we're in calls, we're going to close out here. But one thing that you'll notice is the stock market is all about second attempts. First attempts are panic buyers and panic sellers. There's a few in the Discord. Panic buyers and panic sellers are looking at the first attempt on these things. And I cannot stress that enough. We do not give a fuck about the first attempt. The goal is if it's reversing, be in it already so we can scale and we can profit. But if we're not in the trade yet, we're not going to enter anywhere in this area. Why? Because the 90 EMA is going flat at the 50 EMA. We reverse, we pop back down, we come back up. This should not blow anyone's mind because I covered this in the last course. What happens at the second attempt of the fucking 90 EMA and 50 EMA? The 50 EMA is the blue line. The 90 EMA is the green one. First attempt it curved. We made money this whole way up. We got out. It dropped, decayed premium. Then we watch it. Second attempt, what happens? The thing runs up. It runs up. But what happens here? As we're running up, where does the pullback happen? We start forming a round top right here. It happens when the 9 EMA comes into the 200 EMA. Anytime the 9 EMA comes into any of these indicators that I have mentioned, there is going to be a pullback. No questions asked, there will be a pullback. This works on any time frame. So we know, okay, well, the 200 EMA broke, but the 9 EMA is too far away to break this. So 200 EMA broke right here. Well, look how fucking far the 9 EMA is. There's going to be a pullback because it's coming back to the 9 EMA. Just as, people believe God is real and whatever, you can think about this as religion or anything. The 9 EMA is real. It's always going to come back to that. There's no other way that I can say this. If the 9 EMA is too far away from the breakout points, it is not going to break out. It's going to pull back. So if it breaks these indicators, the 50 EMA right here, you see it broke it. Well, why did it not keep going? Well, because the 9 EMA was too far away. It can't keep going, so you know to scale your position. Slumps over right here at the 50 EMA. Get out of our position for profits. Swerve right back up. Well, why does it break out right here? Well, because the fucking 9 EMA was close enough to the 50 to make it break out. That's what else can you say? And if you look down right here on the screen, what happened when the 9 EMA crossed? Well, there was a volume spike to push it to the 200 EMA. If the 9 EMA is at the 50 and it breaks, it's going to the 200 EMA every time. But guess what happens when the 200 EMA is hit? There's going to be a pullback if the 9 EMA is too far away. Pullback. You could not fucking pay me to enter a trade in this area up here. Let me draw this out. You could not pay me to enter a trade in this area. Why? Because the 9 EMA is too far away. Where would I enter the trade? If I had not already entered the trade over here on the 9 and 50 break, which I would have because this is my strategy and this is what I teach everyone, I would have entered down here. If I had not entered a trade, I would not enter over here because the 9 EMA is too far away. There's going to be a 9 EMA pullback. That's all it comes down to. Now, when does the next breakout happen? when the 9 crosses. So anytime, I'm trying to think of a way to explain this because my brain works in a very autistic way. So we saw it swerve right here in this area when the 9 came into the 50. Well, the 9 EMA wasn't there yet, so I know there's going to be a pullback. I would not enter a trade if I was not in one in this area. I would have entered over here in this area to push to the 50. But if I was not already in, I would not do it. Once this breaks out, the 9 is too far away, so you know there's going to be a 9 EMA pullback. And when I go back to say there are two types of breakouts, it's either it breaks on the first attempt, which it happened right here on the first attempt. You want to look at the 9 EMA and see where the 9 EMA is. If it breaks on the first attempt, you don't want to chase that trade because it's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. Kindergarten work. We do not enter this trade right here. If we are not in a trade, we do not enter this trade right here. We wait for the 9 EMA pullback. First attempts either break or they don't, but the only guarantee that we have is it's going to be a 9 EMA pullback. So if it rejects or if it breaks, we wait for the 9 EMA pullback. I cannot stress that enough. Everybody always asks, well, how did you know it was going to break out right then? Did you listen in the last video? This is not me shitting on anyone, but this is simply me saying, I know it's going to pull back because either it false breaks on the first time, where's the 9 EMA? It's going to pull back to it. It rejects on the first attempt. It's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. Where's the 9 EMA? So over here in this area, we broke out, pushed to the 200. I actually alerted this. This was 100-something% play. But we would not hold this because the 9 EMA is so far away from the 50. It broke out when the 9 EMA crossed the 50. And where did it go? The next indicator that was in line. The next indicator that was in line was the 200 EMA. It broke over on the 200 EMA on the first attempt. I don't give a fuck about this play. If I'm not already in, I don't give a fuck. Why? Because the 9 EMA is way down here. I know one thing is guaranteed, like I've said 100 times. It's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. So what we want to wait for is the 9 EMA pullback and the second attempt. First attempt, pull back to the 9 EMA. Second attempt, even confirmed support right here. 9 EMA crossed over, held support, and we pushed. And we can use this on any chart that we absolutely want. We can scroll back anywhere that we look and we can see this. The strategy works when there is separation between the 9 and the 50, or the 9 and the 200, 9 and VWAP, whatever it is. Two types of breakouts. Either a false break on the first, you have to see where the 9 is. I'm actually going to go back right here because someone said, well, I thought it was going to break the 200 EMA earlier. Well, why did it not break? Because it popped up to the 200. Well, how far away is the 9 EMA from the 200? When did it break the 200? Well, when the 9 EMA was at the 200, that's when it broke. This works on everything. If you have a chop day, you know, and I tell you guys, like, probably shouldn't trade right now. It's chop day. So right here, we have everything coming through the 950, whatever. But why is there no massive moves right here? Because they're all so close together. The massive moves that we see, and hopefully I can find one, are the days where it truly separates. I may not be able to find one because I don't remember the last day. So right here, we see massive separation. If you can count to 5, you understand numerical order. So 9 EMA, 20 EMA, 50 EMA, 200 EMA. Numerical order. 9 is the fastest. 200 is the slowest. They all need to be in numerical order, but when they separate like this, that's when we get those big reversal plays. So you see the separation going through here. And what happens as we scroll and keep scrolling? Well, look what happened right here. As the 9 comes down to the 200, we get a massive crash. Did it break on the first attempt? Yes, it broke on the first attempt. But guess what? If we miss that fucking trade, we do not take it. Why? Why? Why do we not take this trade right here on this candle? Well, because we know one thing is guaranteed. The 9 EMA was way fucking too far away. So there's going to be a 9 EMA pullback. So you bought contracts right here on SPX puts for $50. It breaks out, you're up 100%. It pulls back into the 9 EMA over here, consolidates for 3 hours. Now those contracts are worth 20 cents. If you miss this, you don't have to get the knife candles or the big green boner candles. You don't have to get those. Wait for the pullback if you are not already in the trade. Simple facts. We know, okay, this happens. It knifed through the 200 EMA. It came back and rejected the 200 EMA. This is bearish. Well, enter a fucking contract right here on SPX or SPY and let those 0 DTE decay all of this time when you could have just entered the trade in a bottom zone and got them way cheaper, literally way cheaper. You could enter that break right there. But guess what happens every time there's a breakout or a breakdown? It's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. So our entry, no one would have guessed that this fucking candle was going to happen. Our entry would have been consolidating into the 9 EMA and pushing forward. Doesn't matter if it's the first attempt, rejection, second attempt, breakthrough, it's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. And what do you see? Oh, God, I missed a trade. I could have made $10,000. Well, shit, if you just fucking wait and not chase a trade right here, you can make $10,000 on this. It's common sense. And then guess what happens? As it's going over, guess what? Round bottom, 9 EMA cross, 50 EMA. Guess what? First attempt. First attempt right here. This might blow you guys' mind. First attempt. What's going to happen? It's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. And then guess what happens after that? It rejects and it pushes down further. Don't trade those first attempts if you miss a trade. Wait for the second attempt. This knife candle right here, if you enter this trade right here, you are going to lose money and you're going to stop out because you're going to panic sell. But if you just wait and understand the fact that once these indicators are broken, these support resistance indicators are broken, there's going to be a pullback to the 9 EMA. The 9 EMA just has to catch up. The 9 EMA is what drives the market, up or down, whichever way it goes. It's going to pull back to that. So if you, oh God, I missed it, I'm going to enter down here, you're going to fucking panic sell because your contracts that were worth $100 right here are worth $20 over here. When you could have just waited and entered for a cheaper price right here, could enter for $20 right here versus $50 to $75 over here. And then you could have turned $25 into probably $200 or $300 on SPX right there or more. And then you have 5 contracts. You scale 4. That one contract is going to make you more money as it's going down. But first attempts, this is where people go wrong, is they chase. Wait for the 9 EMA pullback. Again, I will stress this again. There are 1 or 2 types of interactions at the 50 EMA, ATR, VWAP, 200 EMA. It either breaks on the first attempt. You want to look where the 9 EMA is. The 9 EMA is too far away, it's going to pull back. So you don't chase the trade. You wait for the 9 EMA pullback, see if the 9 EMA holds and it bounces and it breaks the previous high or low and you enter the trade. And that's all it comes down to. That's how we time these plays. That's it. So if I didn't time this one right, I would have waited and I would have mapped this zone out as I do live every single day. And it blows my mind that some people still do not get this because I've been fucking teaching it for 3 years. We map a previous low zone. And what do you see every time this is happening? We're consolidating into the 9 EMA. Well, what's happening as we're consolidating into the 9 EMA? One, you're overanalyzing because you're completely fucking bombarded by the fact that it dropped like this and you missed it. When you could just simply just sit back and be like, I'm about to make so much fucking money that I can retire my entire family. if I do this every single day. And you just think about the fact that, okay, it broke this, but I know it's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. What is happening as it's pulling back to the 9 EMA? I do not even have to look down at the screen to know what is happening. The volume is declining. This is a micro pullback into the 9 EMA. I've been teaching this for 3 years. 3 years. This needs to be a light bulb moment for everybody, because I want everybody to fucking get rich with me. I'm tired of making $400,000-$500,000 a year and nobody doing it with me, because you guys are doing dumb shit. I'm sorry to say it in a mean way, but it's the fucking truth. Like, I teach this. I guarantee you, if a kindergartner came into this fucking office with me tomorrow, I could teach that kindergartner how to be a millionaire in a year. But you guys are so worried about being right that you fail to realize what is in front of your face, and you're trading without me. If you don't understand what's going on, don't trade without me. If you miss one of my alerts, don't fucking take a trade. Come on, guys. Like, what? We break the 200 EMA. Volume dies down here, as you can see. We know, okay, this is a micro pullback. It's going to break lower because this is a micro pullback into the 9 EMA. We enter the trade as it's breaking this, and then we get a fucking 300% trade on one candle. Common sense. Common sense. And I'm sorry to be an asshole tonight, but it makes no fucking sense to me that I'm making $500,000 a year and you guys are seeing every trade that I take and you're losing money. Like, no brainer here says that, oh, I'm winning when I take his trades, but I'm losing when I trade without him. Just don't fucking do it. Like, guess what, guys? I started with $1,000 this year, and I've made what, $5,000. I've traded like 15 days. Like, and I'm just doing these simple things. Like, do you guys want to get rich, or do you guys want to keep fucking going to work your jobs? Like, I'm sorry again, I'm getting like hostile about this, but it makes no sense to me. I'm teaching this, I feel like, so well. And now we understand that, you know, first breakout, first rejection, whatever, there's going to be a 9 EMA pullback. So hopefully this helps everybody. But for the love of God, stop being negative in the Discord. And it's not many people that are doing it, but if you just fucking listen. Like, I'm not being vague about what I say and what I enter and what I do. I'm literally saying, okay, I'm in this contract. And I post a picture of the contract, and then the contract goes 500%. And then someone's like, oh, this is so volatile. I don't know what to do. Like, this is so crazy. I don't know how to make money in this market. Like, what? Are you serious? Just listen. Just listen. Like, I want to fucking throw this microphone out of the window right now. Just listen. If you're losing without me, but you're winning with me, it's a no-brainer. Trade with me and don't trade without me. But hopefully this video helped people tonight. Another one, going back to this. Well, why did it reject up here at the 50 EMA? 9 EMA was too far away. Simple. Now if it attempts on the second attempt, guess what's going to happen? It's going to run up and keep going. We would not have traded over here, too choppy, so on. I love you guys, but sometimes you guys need constructive criticism, because it makes no sense that I'm making the money that I'm making, and I'm telling you what I'm doing, where I'm scaling, where I'm selling, and you guys aren't listening. If you miss a trade, do not fucking take it on the first break of the 200 EMA. If the 9 EMA is $2 away, it's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. That's all it comes down to. If it rejects the first attempt, it's going to pull back to the 9 EMA. That's all it comes down to. Simple facts. We can all get rich. We can time it down by looking at volume, looking at the number of attempts. Now, if it's news-based, it's different, but we're not trading news-based events. We're doing this, and everybody literally always says, how did you know it was going to break out right there? I just explained it in one video, and I was a bit harsh, so I'm sorry, but hopefully this wakes people up. I love you all. Tomorrow, let's get fucking rich.